Treasure hunters, welcome to the show. Today I want to give you my number one safety tip, so let's get to it. Yeah, so anyway guys, once again, welcome to the show. I got up this morning, I saw something out in my yard, and it reminded me of, something I've seen several times. It's been talked about. I'm going to throw a video of something I recorded this morning. I'm going to throw it in this video here in a minute. Before I get on to the safety tip for this morning, there's a couple other things that I wanted to share with you. I want to show you a couple of things that I carry in my backpack. I don't go all bushcraft. I know it seems like a lot of people go all bushcraft or like try and carry some type of a bug out bag. When I go out, I'm carrying treasure hunting equipment. I'm lightening my load as much as possible. I do carry a first aid kit, stuff for emergencies, but mostly I have treasure hunting equipment. I carry the metal detectors, the shovels, things like that. I even carry like a paracord. Paracord, I think paracord is very important to have. It has many uses. But anyway, I want to show you some of the tarps that I carry. Generally, I have 5 different things that I can use as like an emergency shelter or something to get out of the rain in case it was to rain while I was out searching, or if I had to, spend the night for some reason. But let me take you over here. I want to show you some of this stuff. Okay guys, there's 5 different items here, and generally I always have one of these 5 items in my pack. Let me start off with this one here. This is a military poncho, and they have many uses. You can make tents out, emergency shelters, tents, different things out of them. And the best thing about this is you can get the insulated blanket that comes with it. It's a thermal insulator, and it actually fits the actual poncho. The only thing about it is there's no hole for your head to slip through, and I've been wanting to have that taken in and have that seamed and stuff to where it'll actually fit the head hole in the poncho. One of the other things I carry sometimes is this 5x7 tarp. I keep some tent stakes. Everything that I carry always has everything that I need in case I do have to set it up. I keep carabiners in there, and there's cordage in there and stuff for making an emergency shelter. This one is just an emergency poncho. There's nothing in that one, but it's the lightest thing that I have that I can carry. It is actually the lightest, and it is pretty much the same size as the military poncho, except I consider it a throwaway item. If I do have to use it to make some type of a shelter or something out of, I'm willing to throw it away. They're not very expensive. And like I said, it is the lightest thing that I can carry. This is a hammock. Guys, a hammock can be used as an emergency shelter anytime. I haven't seen any videos on different ways to set them up, but it's pretty much no different than setting up a poncho shelter. You can use tree limbs, branches, stuff like that. Put your center post up. You can use your trekking poles. Plus, these already have cordage tied onto them, so you can tie it between two points, 2 trees or something like that. And I don't think a whole lot of people think of it as an emergency shelter, but yeah, you don't only have to sleep in it. It can be used to cover you over, get you out of the weather. This is the one. This is the base tube tarp. It's a 1.0. That's the one that you see for the video cover. Kind of out of practice of setting that up, so I was doing that. When I was setting that up is when I noticed what I'm going to show you here in the video in a moment. When I was setting this up, and I thought, well, that was perfect timing. So anyway, these are really lightweight, and they come with instructions. They come with everything that you need in order to have an emergency shelter. If you haven't watched any videos on those or seen those before, look those up on YouTube. They're really awesome. Price range of $30 to $40 depending upon where you get it. So anyway, let me get on to the next part of this video. Yeah, so anyway, this is the next part that I wanted to talk about. It's kind of a safety tip too. Anytime that you're reaching for a knife in your backpack, or you're reaching for a saw or something like that, a hatchet, make it a habit to grab your first aid kit, guys, because that's when accidents happen. If you start making it a habit, every time you grab something that you're going to be cutting or doing something like that with, if you grab your first aid kit at the same time, you're not trying to get to it if something was to happen. Another thing is the paracord bracelet. I always have one. I make my own. They're easy to make. They're inexpensive. But it is always nice to have some paracord on you in case something was to happen. I sit my pack down a lot, guys. I walk away from my pack, and if I was to break a leg or something, had to make a splint, tie something, even like a sling or something like that, I have some paracord on me in case something was to happen. So anyway, guys, this next part is my #1 tip for the season. And what made me want to do it is because I seen it while I was actually out practicing doing my tarp setup. I try to do it every couple of months. I try to set up a tarp just so I stay in practice. And I am a little out of practice. It didn't look the best on like on the video cover, but it took me like 6.5 minutes to set up too. Normally I'm really quick at setting it up, and I practice mostly in case of an emergency situation. I have to get it out of my pack, it's raining, something, So anyway, practice makes perfect, guys. But anyway, as I was setting it up, I saw something out in my yard, and I wanted to throw that into this video, and here it is. Basically, it's talking about widowmakers, guys. When you're setting up your tarps or your tents, pay attention to what's overhead, and here's why. So this is my backyard, guys. This is what I want to show you. I got these trees in my backyard. I got trees all over the place, but here's the safety tip I want to show you. This is what I mean by the widowmakers. This is a branch that came down. Look at how this branch stabbed into the ground. This could have easily gone through the top of a tent. That could have even been somebody sleeping there. Now it's freezing here in Illinois right now. I don't know if you can tell, but can you hear that? The ground is solid as a rock. You see how hard this is in the ground. Look at that. Look at the thickness of this limb, guys. So yeah, watch where you set up your tents this season, guys. Be careful. Always keep an eye of, what's over your head. You just never know. These limbs, every time we get a storm, we get limbs like this down in the yard. And I saw this one this morning. I want to use that as an example to show you what could happen. Be safe, guys. Yeah, so anyway, guys, that's my #1 tip for this season. If you're out hiking, camping, setting up your tents, pay attention to what's over your head, guys. Accidents happen. And, like I said in the video, every time it rains, these limbs start falling in our yard. And, it's not uncommon. It happens everywhere in the forest. So be safe this season, guys, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video.